Welcome back everyone, Oz here. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And today we're wandering right back into the realm of entitlement with r/EntitledParents. So as a precursor note, this story was rewritten by one of my Discord admins for me, so thank you first off, and let's get into it. It's okay if they die, they were just born. Disclaimer, sorry for any misspellings, I do speak English, I'm just a f***ing idiot. And a little note from my admin, hell yes you are. Context, so my mom has a daycare which she runs in our house, and there's this lady which used to bring her 5 kids, 2 5-year-olds, 1 10-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-year-old brat to daycare. Usually just 2 or 3 at a time, and about 1.5 years ago, I was 13, going to be 14 at the time, and I'm now 15, my dog had babies, 4 puppies, 3 boys and 1 girl. The day after my dog gave birth, the entitled mother decided to take all 5 of her kids with her and have a chit chat with my mom for a few minutes. My mother was already stressed with 4 puppies, and now she had to deal with 5 kids and their mother, which doesn't know when to leave. Since you know the background, here is what had happened. Your cast: EM is entitled mother, B is brat, M is my mom, me, the powerful scrumpet boy. It's me guys, it's me. Your story: my mom was busy cooking the meal after we had a long day of taking care of kids and puppies, when the one who shall not be named knocks on our door. My mom opens the door. Oh, entitled mother, what are you doing here? I wanted to come by and say hello. Her children start running in and immediately start making a mess. I see you brought the whole cast. Yep, I decided to bring all of them since I couldn't leave them at home with the husband's name, and you're babysitting anyway, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I guess it's fine. My mom and entitled mother sit down and talk, while entitled mother's kids are running around the house. Meanwhile, I am with my dog, watching those puppies like a hawk. Brat approaches me and asks a question that I had underestimated the power of. Can I hold one of the puppies? Sorry, Brat, the puppies have to stay with their mom right now. Aw, but it would be just for a second. I'm sorry, but the puppies have to be with their mom. Brat then crosses arms and goes back to his mom. Now, this might be my first post, but this is not my first interaction with an entitled parent. And his mom just looked at me with a nice smile and says, "Can you please let Brat hold one of the puppies? He's good with dogs." I'm sorry, entitled mother, but the puppies were only born yesterday and they need to be with their mom. Oh, come on, they'll be fine. My son's right, you can't touch the babies when they've just been born. Oh, but your son is touching them. She then looks at my mom like she caught her lying about something. But I'm wearing gloves and not removing them from the cage. I'm just helping my dog feed them. Just so you know, I was moving the puppies my dog's breasts whenever they couldn't find it and they were in a cage, because this was the safest place for them to be. And also, my dog gave birth inside the cage, so... Well, just give him a pair of gloves. I'm sorry, entitled mother, but your son can't pick up the puppies. Entitled mother then glares at me and starts talking to my mom again, while Brat is still standing next to her, angry. As my mom was talking to entitled mother, she looked like only half listening and seemed to think about something. Then my mom went to the kitchen to get back to the food she was still cooking, and entitled mother started grinning and whispers something to Brat, who looked really happy, so I got suspicious. I now have my guard on the puppies at 110%, while Brat walked past the cage about 5 times. My mom called me to the kitchen and I started moving, still keeping an eye on Brat and the puppies. When I get to the kitchen and my mom is passing me some food, I hear a quiet whimpering. I immediately drop the food and run to the cage. I see Brat with one of the puppies in his hand and my dog looking confused up to him. I said not to pick up the puppies. Please put it back. No, just let him. I said to your son that he is not allowed to touch the puppies. Are you saying my son can't be gentle with some damn puppies? Meanwhile, he's flying the puppy around like a toy plane. When I decide to go and get the puppy back from him and are just about to grab it, he throws it at the cage. The puppy screams in pain. What the f are you doing, you little shit? Brat then tries to stomp on the puppy. I run towards him with the intent of smacking him, but my dog beat me to it and bites him very hard, cutting through his skin. As Brad starts screeching in pain, my dog picks up the puppy and helps it to stop crying. "Your rabid dog just bit my son." My dog only bit your son because he threw her baby at the cage. Who cares if it dies? It was just born. Now, that got me really mad. Me, my mom, and the dog would care. Now get out of our house, you bitch.
How dare you call me a bitch? OP's mom, control your child now.
My mom was busy checking if the puppy was okay. He was perfectly fine to our relief. "I am so sorry, entitled mother. Son, say that you're sorry and go to your room." Now, you might be thinking that my mom was crazy, that she didn't see what happened, but just by looking at her, I knew what was about to happen. Well, not the exact plan, but close enough. I went down the hallway and peeked around the corner. I saw my mom fixing up Brat's wound when she brings up all the money entitled mother owes us from bringing her kids here today, and all the freebies that my mom gave her. Turned out she owed us $5,000. Entitled mother went crazy, but quickly stopped when my mom gave her a look that literally could kill gods. Entitled mother then reluctantly took out her checkbook and wrote one for the money she owed. When she was about to leave, my mom told her if she ever comes near her, me, or our dog again, she would beat her ass so bad that she would be sore for years and that it would be double if the check bounced. Entitled mother then left in a huff with all her kids and said she would sue us for assault of a minor and animal abuse. I guess she either forgot or knew she had nothing on us because she never came back. Entitled mom confused about escalators. Background. I was at the mall yesterday that has 2 floors. There's a middle section of the mall that has an up escalator and a down escalator with a Starbucks store in the middle. However, the store is not that tall, so you can see the escalators on both sides. All I'm going to say is I seriously hope what I saw was not real. But by the way people were staring, I think it was real. Characters. EM is entitled mom, for anyone new on the subreddit. SG security guard. H, husband of entitled mom. Know me? I didn't talk because I was so flabbergasted at this story my mouth dropped to the floor. Entitled mother tries to walk up the down escalator but can't get up the stairs. I'm about to say something because I think she might be tired or distracted and not realize what the hell is going on. But then screams for security guard. "Why are these stairs preventing me from going upstairs?" That's the down escalator, ma'am. They're used to bring people downstairs." "But I want to go up these stairs." Take the escalator just over there. No more than 10 to 20 steps. "But that's too far. Why don't you just change the direction of the escalator? It's too far to walk, and I have to go to my baby upstairs." "Where's your child?" "Upstairs with my husband, duh. Now change the direction of the escalator." "I can't." "It wouldn't be that hard." You could have been upstairs by now if you just used the up escalator. Let's not waste any more time and go up the up escalators. "I want to speak to your manager." He's literally going to say the same thing. Husband now appears on the top of the escalator, with kid being neutral, going down the down escalator. "Honey, what's going on?" "This man will change the escalator." "What do you mean?" "The escalator's going the wrong way." "Oh, there's another escalator right there that are going up." As if she sees it for the first time. "Oh, thank you, honey." Goes to the escalator and rides up it with child. At this point, I leave, so I don't know what happens afterwards. Part of me really wants to believe that this is fake, but sadly, I know for a fact that there are people who don't know how escalators work. And if you're one of those people, you should totally 100% go on them with flip-flops on. Because nothing bad'll happen. Being famous doesn't mean you own the clinic or doctor. My mom just reminded me of this one. I tried to convince her to create her own account and share it, as I don't remember the conversations word for word. Didn't get logged in the memory that well, but she just gave me a dirty look and called me batshit crazy. So I guess it's my job to share it. Can I just say my mom's the best? Long backstory, but it's worth it for the EP famous person tantrum at the end. I talk about him all the time, but for those of you who haven't heard me babble about him, My little brother was multiply and severely disabled. He wound up passing away at the age of 10, but his 9 3/4 years between his brain injury and him passing were full of a lot of bizarre, crazy, and often entitled run-ins. When he was 1, we moved back to be with my parents' families, within an hour drive of a major, very highly respected children's hospital. Prior to this, my mom was making a 6-hour drive to get him to the correct doctors, so the move was good for everyone. This meant, however, that we were now, unbeknownst to us, using the same children's hospital, CH, as a celebrity's child. Our cast: Dewey, the best little brother ever. EP, the celebrity and entitled asshole of our story. IC is innocent child, aka EP's kid. They were never rude or entitled around me. Plus, some assorted front desk clerks who shall be referred to as clerks. My little brother and innocent child were diagnosed with cystic fibrosis only a few months apart. For Dewey, the diagnosis was a complete shock. We had no family history of the disease and he was already brain damaged. What force in this universe thought it was fair to make him deal with both things? For innocent child, the diagnosis was also a shock as their family also had no history of the disease. Back then, the average life expectancy for kids with CF was the late teens to early 20s. It's now much longer, thankfully, but things were a lot worse 26 years ago. Entitled parent threw himself into trying to raise money for research, a noble enough cause, except he then used those connections to get his kid top priority with everything, whether or not they needed it. This culminated in entitled parent donating a bunch of money to the hospital for a new CF clinic. Once again, sounds noble on the surface, but the reality was so very different. Around this time, my baby brother had started wearing leg braces and using a wheelchair when out of the home. He also was nonverbal, flapped his arms when excited, drooled, and was generally a goofy kid. It was very obvious something was very wrong with him if you spent even a few minutes with him. We got used to the odd looks, so none of us were paying attention when the looks in the CF clinic waiting room were consistently those of panic and not just confusion. The clerks finally told us that people with newly diagnosed infants and toddlers would come in, see Dewey, then have a panic attack convinced their kids would end up like Dewey. The staff spent a lot of time trying to calm these parents and explaining to them that the little boy in question also had brain damage totally unrelated to his CF. After several minutes of conversation between my mom and the clerks, it was decided that instead of sitting in the waiting room with everyone else, we would be left to wait in an exam room in the back. Wait times could top 3 hours there, so the clerks were fine with me coming out alone to the waiting room to play with toys, watch TV, or get books to take back. On the fateful day in question, entitled parent and innocent child arrived, checked in, and been told the wait would be 1 to 3 hours. About 30 minutes later, Mom, Dewey, and me walked in, checked in with the clerk, then were immediately taken into the back. This did not sit well with the entitled parent. He apparently tried harumping and angry looks for the first few minutes before laying into the desk clerk. I had gone out to grab a book and came back to where Mom and Dew were waiting and told her some really big man was yelling a lot. Mom was curious and bored, so she told me to play with Dew and slipped out of the room. I never heard what happened until years later, but my mom remembers it very well. Entitled parent was screaming, and I mean screaming, at the top of his lungs at the desk clerks. How dare they make his precious angel wait while some stupid, really cool Dewey was seen first? Didn't they know who he was? Then he started yelling about how he donated all this money for a new clinic because innocent child deserved it better than the dirty old clinic that used to be there. It was spotless, just out of date. And how donating money meant he should never have to wait for anything ever. He'd only done the fundraising and media interviews so that innocent child could be on the drug trials, whether or not he qualified, get instant help at the hospital, not how that works, bud, and so that innocent child could get a double lung transplant without waiting. First off, back then, lung transplants for CF were rare, and second off, the feds controlled those wait lists, so not how that works either. He apparently ranted and raved until a clerk was literally dialing security. He finally lowered his volume but kept telling everyone who worked there how they all sucked, and he'd tell the doctor to fire everyone. He was truly convinced that a donation meant he had the power to decide who worked there. Mom apologized to the clerks at our next visit a few weeks after this. They assured her that it wasn't her fault, entitled parent was just a giant asshole, and he was always like that. Apparently the hospital had told him before he made his donation that he wouldn't get some of the things he was asking for in return, but he didn't listen to them. Mom asked if he'd calm down when finally told we were, in fact, still waiting, just out of sight. The clerk laughed, winked, and said they'd never told him. He'd been so rude to them for so long that all the staff let him think someone had gotten preferential treatment over him just to piss him off. Morals of the story: being rich and famous doesn't mean you get everything you want, and don't piss off the front desk clerks at a doctor's office. They control everything. In the comments below, y'all should tell me who you think the celebrity was, because, I mean, I think it could be quite a few of them. Entitled Parent steals my frickin' Legos, and I'm still salty. Salty. You know, I think I'm gonna pass this story over to my buddy Salty Reddits and have him read this. So if you guys want to check this story out, go and give him a click and let him know that Oz sent ya. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you guys want more of this stuff, go check out Salty Reddits. He could really use the attention from y'all. And if you guys have your own stories or your own thoughts on whether these stories were real or fake, consider leaving a comment below. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.